My coverage of CES 2015 is made possible by Fractal Design and WD. To learn more about their products and to say thank you for supporting Paul's Hardware, go ahead and click on the sponsor links in this video's description.
Excellent!
Hey guys, and welcome to my CES coverage. Continuing, I'm starting off at the Thermaltake booth, and I have Logan here who has agreed to stand next to me for just about everything that I do today. I'm very excited about that.
What have I done?
You're just going to stand there.
Okay.
So guys, apologies for my voice once again today. It's a little bit better, but you guys were great with my first video. So at Thermaltake, I'm basically going to be focusing on these three new cases that they are coming out with. These are insane cases. We're starting with the Core X9 with the larger one, which is full ATX. Basically, what Shannon and his team have done is they've made these cases completely modular. You can remove everything. There are no rivets in the case. You can disassemble the entire thing. Obviously, these are larger size, so as you can see, what they've done over here is stacked two of them on top of each other. So you can remove the top panel. These have two separate water cooling loops, so the red on top is cooling the GPU and the blue on the bottom is cooling the processor. These look just incredible. They're amazingly sturdy, even when they're stacked together. It's wobbling, but that's because they're heavy and the table on the bottom is wobbling. But the amount of water cooling that you can fit in here, the fact that you can just completely remove the top panels to access really, really amazing radiator support. I'm not going to list all of them, but as you can see here, these are really, really key for water cooling. And the great thing about the X9 here, apart from the modularity, the build quality, and the fact that you can remove everything and rebuild it, is that it's only $169 MSRP. You get a lot of case for that, and just looking inside, you can see everything can be shifted around, moved around. It's really made for customization, and of course water cooling. Next up is the Core X2. So this one is going to be basically a micro ATX chassis. This one is retailing for $130 or $129 MSRP. You get the same build quality and everything. It's basically like a baby brother of the X9, and they have another one built right here. Two of them stacked on top of each other. The amount of stuff you can do with these cases is really just quite incredible.
If anybody's wondering, I'm still standing here.
Logan is still next to me, just to confirm for you guys. And I really love the massive fans that you have in front, because even with all the cooling that we have going on in here, it's not very loud. It's not very loud at all.
It's not. Well, the larger fans maybe.
Yeah, large fans, just a soft whoosh. And I want to give you guys lots of footage of these builds that Thermaltake has done, because the attention to detail and just the epicness of them is amazingly epic. I can't think of other words to describe it.
Epic.
And lastly, here in the middle, we have the Core X1. This is the Mini ITX. Again, on the larger side for a Mini ITX chassis. But again, these are made to be modular, to be stacked, to drop everything you want onto them, and to be able to remove all the pieces. Also, on all of these cases, they're flippable. So you can take the windowed side panel and you can swap it over to the other side. In order to give yourself more flexibility for where you place the case, if you want to have the case on your left side or on your right side on your desktop. And then lastly, all of the intakes are filtered, and these all have magnetic dust filters that you can easily pop off and put back on. So an excellent job by Thermaltake on these cases. I mean, obviously they already have a ton of amazing builds in them right now, but looking forward to the future. I'm really excited to see other systems built in these cases and what people do with them. Logan, where are we?
We're Patriot.
Now, what you guys probably know Patriot for, what I'm going to show you is over there, which is memory and also some SSD stuff. But if you didn't know, Patriot makes other things as well, which you might be interested in. This is the Fuel Ion line. So these are actually cases. They have them for iPhone series, and they're also coming out with some Android devices as well. Basically what it is a case that snaps around your phone. On the back, it's got some charger connections, and it's magnetic. So they have all these adapters you can use for your car to set up on your desk or whatever, and basically you pop it on like that, and it'll charge your phone. Apart from that, they also have ones that have built-in battery chargers to charge your phone while you're on the go, and then they are also coming out with some that have storage included as well. Over here we have a bunch of flash devices, flash drives, external storage, USB flash, and that sort of thing. Right over here we have some Pro 2 SD cards, and these are actually made for really, really high speed. This can go up to 280 megabytes per second, high capacity, 16, 32, and 64 gigs. So again, if you're planning on shooting 4K, you need really high speed storage for that. So check out these Pro 2 series from from Patriot. This is the new SSD series from Patriot. So we have the Ignite and we also have the Blaze. These are going to use different types of NAND flash, but they're both using Phison controllers. Still SATA 3, but they're going to be very fast drives, even with compressible or incompressible data. The Ignite and the Blaze both also available in higher capacities now, so you got 960 gigs and 480 gigs. I asked Patriot about M.2 support, since we're looking forward to that with the new platforms. And they said they're working on that, and maybe in the next month or two they'll be coming out with some M.2 ones as well that are really going to open up the speed capabilities of the Phison controllers. Guys, I'm over here at the Plextor booth. Sorry the lighting is kind of bad, but don't worry, I still have Logan here beside me as promised, although he looks a little different. Anyway, first thing I want to show you guys is the new M6E Black. So what this is basically is a revamp of Plextor's M6E. Now internally you have mostly the same hardware that we had on the M6E prior, PCI Express Gen 2 by 2, and it still has the same capacities available. What they've done is they've updated the design of it. They've added a red heat sink. They've added a black PCB, which is going to blend in much nicer with a lot of systems. So if you're going to drop a PCI Express SSD into a system, and it's a gaming system, you might want it to look nice, so that's pretty cool. They've also added a separate SATA power input that could potentially be used to provide additional power to the drive in case of power loss. They added a 2-pin so you can actually connect it to the hard drive read-write activity LED on your case if that's something you're interested in. And then they also have a bit of new software. It's called Write Through Plus, and basically it takes the benefits of write back and of write through. One of which is that you get better speed, one of which is that you get support for if you have a actual power failure while you're trying to write to the drive. And it also allows you to do memory caching, which, as you can see, leads to some insane read and write speeds up in the 9,000 megabytes per second area. If you want something new, though, that's right over here. It's the M7E. So Plextor is still using a Marvell controller for this one, but they've upgraded the bandwidth available to PCI Express Gen 2 by 4, and they have a magnifying glass so you can see the M.2 SSD down there. You can also see the Marvell controller, and it's still got a green PCB, but this one is in the works. So let us know in the comments if you'd like to see a more stealthy version of this one, like the M6E Black Edition. But if you're interested in performance, check it out. Over 1,400 megabytes per second reads on this one, over 1,000 megabytes per second writes, as you can see there. Also some very good 4K numbers listed. There's a competing drive that they're comparing it to over here that's also an M.2, which is just getting about 1,100 and 900 respectively on those same tests. And I don't know which one they're comparing it to. They don't like to tell me, but it's right over here. We're over here at the Mushkin suite, and I'm going to talk just about one of these products here, but if you guys want to find a little bit more information on Mushkin, Tech Syndicate guys just did full coverage on all these products. They were talking about the DDR3, the new DDR4. These are crazy USB drives on top that have really high input-output operations per second. Brand new Phison-based SSD, as well as a more standard SSD that's going to give you a really good price per gigabyte. There's also a RAID controller PCI Express riser card here that has 4 512 gig SSDs attached to it. There's these little riser cards, which are more native PCI Express. No RAID controller involved. They're just a single SandForce LSI controller. Prototype phase for those. The main thing I want to point out is these little prototype guys right here. So these are using a brand new Phison controller in the 5000 series. These will give you PCI Express Gen 3 by 4 connectivity. That means you can get up to 350,000 input-output operations per second on these. That's absolutely absurd. These will give you up to 2.8 gigabytes per second of bandwidth, and rate speeds on these goes up over 2,000. To say nothing of the possibility that there might be motherboards that allow you to RAID a couple of these in the future. So keep your eyes peeled and watch the Mushkin site, and I'm sure they'll be announcing these very soon once they are ready for mass production and sale to the public. We're at the MSI suite up here, and there's 3 products I want to talk about here. First, there's a GT80 Titan SLI, which you guys might have heard of already. Basically, they got an SLI GPU configuration in there, but the most noticeable thing is they have a full Cherry MX Brown mechanical keyboard integrated into a laptop, which is pretty sweet. Also, the panel right above that, you can remove and easily access all the internal components, so you can upgrade your memory or your storage or anything like that. So definitely a desktop replacement, definitely on the larger side, but if you're looking for that type of computer, I think it is an excellent choice. The other cool thing they have on display here is right behind me. This is the GT72 Dominator, and that has USB 3.1 finally actually integrated. It's still in the development phases, so it's still testing. They have kind of a setup here going on to actually simulate that, but it's getting well over 600 megabytes per second reads and writes via USB. Quite a fantastic solution if you ask me, if you need external fast storage and you don't want to pay the pricey cost for those Thunderbolt cables. Lastly, we have a 13-inch little tiny laptop here behind me from the Shadow series, but what it's on top of is MSI's gaming station. It's a dock for your laptop. You can drop in there. It's got a separate power supply and a full PCI Express slot for you to drop in a video card. So basically you dock the laptop, it automatically switches over to that video card. So it's basically that beautiful combination between having a portable laptop that you can take on the go with you for work and that sort of thing, but when you get home, pop it on the dock and you have a full actual discrete GPU solution for gaming, and I think it's a fantastic product and probably one of the most unique ones we've seen at CES so far. I am now down at the other MSI booth, which is downstairs. This is one where I have motherboards and graphics cards and that kind of good stuff. There's not a whole lot when it comes to the motherboards and graphics card side, but on the motherboard side they do have some new Crate Edition motherboards that are looking pretty sweet with white and black finish. Nice clean looking boards. They do have motherboards, of course, that are starting to integrate USB 3.1, and they're actually expecting new revisions of most of their motherboards in the next month or two that use USB 3.1 for more throughput. They're actually getting closer to 700 megabytes per second in some of the demos they have running over here. Apart from that, their graphics cards, they have come out in a lot of different trims, and I really like to see MSI supporting different colors for their graphics cards. So you might notice not just their typical red and black from their gaming G series, but a sort of copper, bronzish, more kind of golden hued color. We also, of course, have white ones to go along with the Crate Edition. And since these are NVIDIA cards, why not also include a green one as well? So there's a green version of the graphics card too. Another cool thing we've seen here for the first time is the integration of a USB Type-C connector. That's the new standard. It's smaller than USB Type-A, and it's freaking reversible. That means you can never plug it in the wrong way. This is the first time we've actually seen it in person. And yes, you will be able to get USB Type-C with USB 3.1 connectivity for maximum bandwidth and ease of pluggingness. Yes, that's a word, pluggingness.
The C stands for amazing.